The Masheba Webb Show. Masheba Webb Show. Everybody out here, come and sing with me. Masheba Webb Show. Masheba Webb Show.
The Masheba Webb Show. My goodness, it's another pop-up Thursday edition of the Masheba Webb Show, and I am your host, Masheba Webb. Listen, we're going to get right into it. How I do it, I'm going to my left. I got my first, not my first guest, but is this your first time here? Is that your first time here?
Yes, it is.
Is it your first time here appearance on the Masheba Webb Show? None other. I'm talking about a pastor, artist, a father, husband, playwright, and a songwriter, and a chef. I'm talking about none other than the Pastor Ron Todd. How are you doing, my love?
I am amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I all those things?
Yes, you are. Absolutely. How are you doing, sweetheart?
I am doing incredible. God is so faithful.
He is.
Truly.
And I love him. I'm so excited to have you here. And I'm going to introduce my other co-host, Mr. Rob, Big Rob. We call him Big Rob here at the Masheba Webb Show. How you doing, baby?
All is well.
Oh, my goodness. So, listen, we're going to get right into it. Now, listen, Pastor Ron Todd, let's talk about your church. That's what I want to talk about because, first of all, I know that you were a part of the church. How I met you, well, really how I got into you is you were at Conqueror's Church.
Yes.
So you were the praise and worship director, was it? Or leader?
Leader, yeah.
Okay. And then I didn't see you anymore. And I'm like, where did Ron go? Where is he at?
Yeah.
And they told me that you had started your own church. Now, how is that going? What's the name of it? And how can people chime in or see your service or come to a service?
So, funny thing. So, my church was in existence while I was at Conquerors.
Wow.
And so, I was employed by Conqueror's Church.
Okay.
And that was 2 times over. So I was working at Conqueror's and shout out to Pastor Sam and Lady L, who I absolutely adore. I love them. And so I was working there and I was doing my service. And at the time, my service was at 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ended up stopping at that time because they had gone to like 2 or 3 services.
Yeah.
The church had just grown leaps and bounds.
Absolutely.
We were in the Target parking lot there.
Yeah, Dorsey Business School.
Yeah,
College,
well, no.
right?
So before Dorsey, they were further down Gratiot, and they were inside of an old Mr. Allen's. It was.
All right.
And so, they had grown so to where they needed to go to multiple services. So even at the time as a young man, it was just too much on my body to do 2 services and then go do my own service.
Right.
So I chose to part ways at that time. Of course, no love lost. And I have to say that because, people online can be real messy.
Absolutely.
Especially the saints. My God.
Come on now, that we ain't even gonna play right here at the Masheba Webb Show. We gonna keep it real, like the pew. We get into that next. But
yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. And so then, obviously things changed down the line, and the opportunity came about for me to come back. They were only doing 1 service, and I said, okay, of course. Of course, Pastor Sam and I continued to be friends and continue to keep in contact.
Absolutely.
And so it made sense and it worked. And so I did another year or 2 at Conquerors. And then the pandemic hit.
Took everybody out.
Pandemic came about, and it, things just got really challenging.
Yeah.
And so really what happened is after the pandemic, I decided not to come back because I needed to be really focused on my ministry, and it began to grow. And so, this season it just wasn't conducive for me to do as much as I was doing on a Sunday. My family is growing, remarried and have kids and things like that. So it's like I kind of gotta really be conscious of the time that I'm spending outside of home and all that kind of good thing. And I needed to focus on my ministry. It was what it was. So that season had just ended. Again, no love lost. Don't y'all try it.
Not at all.
And so I pastor Kingdom Dwellers Ministries of the Apostolic Faith. We are 12 years old.
Ooh.
Yes, I cannot believe it. We are 12 years old, and I pastor some of the greatest people Please come out. Our services are every Sunday, 10 a.m. 2261
So
Marquette
you have a
Street.
brick and mortar?
Come out.
Come on,
2261
wait a minute.
Marquette Street.
2261 Market. Is
Marquette.
it Marquette?
Marquette.
Oh
Yes,
my God.
Detroit, Michigan.
This is good stuff right here.
Yes, please come see us.
God, I'm coming.
Come on.
What time are the services?
10 a.m.
Yes.
And then on Tuesday, we do online for a Bible class. We call it Worship and Word every Tuesday.
Okay, you said
7:30.
Tuesday online Bible study.
Yep, 7:30. Facebook and YouTube.
Oh my goodness, I
Yeah.
love it. So listen, let's talk about this hot number you got called Prayer Through.
Yes.
Okay, because I don't know, I call you Prince. When I first seen you and I didn't know you, I was scrolling on Facebook, and you know how people pop up, they Facebook give you suggestions.
Yeah.
That's how I was doing. And honey, I seen Prince Ron Todd. That's what got me. It was the Prince. Now, where did the Prince come from?
So it started some years back. So it's so funny because I started singing out even at a very young age. I was like 10 years old, and I remember being on, concerts and musicals with big acts at the time, like Wanda Nero Butler,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Derek Milan and Peter's Rock, and I mean
Yes.
those acts were really big then. And here was this 10-year-old kid, me, out there, and so. There became a time where people just start calling me like the Prince of Detroit. I never knew, they would introduce me. All right, y'all, coming up next is the Prince of Detroit. It's Ron Todd. And I never gave myself that title. I thought it was a pretty big, big shoes to fill, but it just kind of stuck.
Absolutely.
And so people have been saying it now over the years. And so I learned to just accept it and say, well, amen.
Well,
I'm a son of the city. Here I am.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So listen, we're getting ready to play Prayer Through. Now let's talk about the musician, the band, because they was tight.
Yes.
Okay, what's going on here? Who was it?
Well, I got a shout out to Ryan Rutley, who was my producer. Ryan Rutley, actually, the funny thing is, this is an old song that we recorded maybe like 10 years ago.
What?
And so Ryan's like, we should really redo that song. And so we did. We pulled the old version off and we redid it and had some fun. And what I love about Ryan is he never tries to hinder my creativity.
Come on now.
Because I'm at a point in my
That's
career,
important.
I'm a little bossy, meaning that I know what I want, I know how I want it, and I won't let up until it's how I want it.
Absolutely.
And so, but he's so kind and so gracious and
He
so
is.
gifted
Listen,
that he will create what you say.
he is amazing. He's my producer for Just For Us.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have another one I'm getting ready to drop called Deliverance.
Awesome.
So that one's, we bringing nothing but fire on that. We did the
I already
background
know it.
together. Oh, it's awesome. So listen, we're gonna play Prayer Through. Is there anyone? Go ahead and introduce your song right now for the people.
Yes, this is my latest single. Came out on Christmas Day, so it's a present for you. It's called I Can Get a Prayer Through. Take a listen.
Right here on the Masheba Webb Show.
1, 2, ready, come on. Clap your hands. Introducing the Prince of Detroit, Ron Todd. Come on.
I know I can get a prayer. I know I can. The prayers of the righteous avail much. I know me say it like this. Say fervent prayer, availeth much. Fervent prayer, availeth much. The Bible says it availeth much. I know my Bible says, hey, I can get a prayer through. I can get a prayer through. I can get a prayer through. And you can too. I don't have to worry. I don't have to fret. Because my God, He's never failed me yet. Get on your knees and pray. And watch God make a way. Get on your knees and pray. Watch God make a way. Anybody believe it? Anybody believe it? Come on, let's declare it. Oh, yeah. Fervent prayer. Oh, I believe it. Yes, I receive it. Oh, Lord. Yeah. No matter what I'm going through, no matter what you're going through, kids go crazy, girls go wild. You are not the father, but you were taking care of that child. I'm gonna pray through. Oh, watch God do it. I said, watch God do it. Watch God do it. I said, watch God do it. If He did it before, He'll do it again. If He did it before, He'll do it again. Don't give up. Don't give in. Hold on. Don't let it go. You're right at the brink of your miracle. He's gonna show out in your life. You're gonna lend and not borrow. You're gonna be above and not beneath. First you gotta believe it, then you will receive it. Watch God do it. Watch God do it. Yes. Yes.
That was Prayer Through by none other than Prince Ryan Todd. Oh my God. Listen, them vocals, Ryan Rutley, who was the background? Because they was humming, honey.
That was Avery Walker and a young lady named Polly. And forgive me, Polly, I don't know your last name.
Avery Walker.
Avery Walker, you talking about
Is
the-
that a guy?
Yeah.
Wait, hold up, wait, hold up.
I saw him playing the drums. Don't
You
he
mean
does
Mr.
play the drums.
Ventriloquist?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our old co-host. He
Yes.
used to be on the Masheba Webb show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, Avery.
He does a lot on
Man.
TikTok.
Yes, he does. He does. I follow him. Avery is really good, and he has a lot of exposure. And I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That was his first time recording in the studio.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! But he's a natural.
Oh yeah, and he nailed because those parts were high at the end, so you had to really.
He did
be
the
able to-
high. Excuse me, sir. You telling me he did the soprano?
No, he did the high tenor. The tenor
okay.
parts are
I
high.
was finna say.
Oh yeah,
Yes, they are.
they are high. You know, and it's funny because I told Ryan, I'm like, oh well, I know I won't be doing those backgrounds. Glory to God. 'Cause the way this boy's set up these
know
days,
that's
I
right.
could,
Listen, let's talk about your phenomenal podcast called The Pew. Now let's get into it because, honey, the name alone is amazing. Okay, how did this come about?
So I've been doing radio, Lord have mercy. I mean, almost 20 years. And so I started off doing radio. I did 1440 when it was really popular. Had a show on 1340. And then I did internet radio for many years. I started at Motown Gospel Radio. And this is before like internet radio was even popular, before streaming, faith, all that kind of thing.
Right.
So I did MotownGospelRadio.com. I did WGOD. I did all of these internet radio shows. And so the last thing I was doing was a radio show. It was an internet radio show. And the pandemic happened once again. So we couldn't come out the house.
Right.
And so I said, well, I got to get creative because, you know, I got to be somewhere talking.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm like, I got to be somewhere saying something.
You got
But
to
I
be.
wanted people to be encouraged because we were going through a crisis and everybody, there were a lot of uncertainties and people were, their faith was really being tried and
yes.
tested like never before.
Absolutely.
And so I'm like, Lord, now what can I do to bring some joy and bring some laughter and some excitement even in the midst of the crisis? And so I thought about, all these different talk shows, the Talk, The View, and all that sort of thing. I said, well, what if we do the Pew?
The Pew.
Because see, everything happened on the Pew.
Everything.
We chew bubblegum on the pew. Ain't supposed to be. We talk about folks on the pew. We ain't supposed to be talking about people. We laugh on the pew. We on Facebook on the pew. A lot of things take place on the pew.
Absolutely.
And so God gave me that, and it just took off. And I reached out to some friends. I reached out to my friend Monique Walker,
Yes.
who you guys know. She was the wife of Bishop Hezekiah Walker. And
Yes.
I reached out to my friend C. Ashley Brown Lawrence, the late C. Ashley Brown Lawrence, who just left us a few months ago. And then I reached out to my buddy Javis Mays, and I told them about this idea I had. And of course, we was all at home. So it was like, yes, let's do it. Let's encourage the people. And so we did. And since then, the show has just grown and evolved. And of course, now we all back outside. And so I have a new crew. I have Penny Ellis, who was my co-host when I did the Ron Todd show on the radio. So she's back with me now. And I have Melanie Phillips, who's with me as well, and Josh Jad out of Atlanta, Georgia. So yeah. So it's 4 of us, and we talk about your favorite hot topics,
Yes,
but
you
from
do.
a Christian perspective. We try to put a Christian spin on it, encourage the people, but we have a good time and we laugh. Listen, if you ever need a good laugh on a Tuesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, you go to the Pew Podcast on Facebook and YouTube, because I tell you, you're going to get you a good laugh.
Absolutely.
I have a
Listen.
question for you.
Yeah, come on with it, bro.
So, my question to you is, you a young man, seems to be in your 40s, right?
Listen, watch it. Listen, I'm a young man. We're going to stay right there.
Okay.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
So the reason why I'm asking you this question is because, based on some of the statistics I've been seeing, that the church membership has declined. And so I want to know from you, if people are running from church, what can you do to change that?
Him or we as a people?
No, your part and your puzzle when it comes to God.
Well, we knew that it was going to be a great falling away. The scripture tells us about that. However, I think the best thing that any of us can do, and especially myself, is to be transparent.
Absolutely.
Because I think the great falling away has a lot to do with the fact that growing up, we put the man and women of God on pedestals.
Yes, we do.
And people were, I call them little gods. We thought they were little gods. We thought they were perfect. They never made mistakes. And so what's happened is, now that we're starting to see that people are not perfect and that they make mistakes and that they put on their pants just like you do, it's kind of like shocking. It's like,
Absolutely.
Pastor got mad. What? Pastor went off. Did you hear about that? I ain't never going back to church. So I think the more transparent we can be with people and let them know, like, listen, first of all, from 21 Jump Street, I want you to know that I'm not perfect. I'm a man just like you are. I struggle with things just like you do. I have to pray. I have to fast. I have to get on my knees before God, and I have to die to this flesh daily just like you.
Absolutely.
I do not have it all together. God has anointed me and gifted me to be an oracle. He's gifted me to stand before you and preach his word, but that doesn't mean that I'm perfect and I have it all together.
You said something that I've got to ask you a question on it. You were saying that you make mistakes.
Yeah.
You're not perfect.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people that when you got titles, people push on people with titles. Do you think titles are really important?
I think it's important in certain communities, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you'll notice in, I will say, in some churches that are predominantly Caucasian, they don't use titles. You'll hear think about someone with 30,000 members like Joel Osteen. They're not like, hey, Pastor Joel. It's, hey, Joel. Hey, Victoria. And they still have a level of respect.
Wow.
However, I find that in the urban churches, unfortunately, it's kind of like how we have to do with a judge or a police officer or someone of authority. You got to put a handle on it, because then you get too comfortable. And when you get too comfortable, you think it's okay to say and do certain things, and you got to have a level of respect because of the office. It's so important.
Oh my God. Now listen, since you broke that open right there, let me interject a question. Not judging, no judgment, just asking. what was your view on the pastor in Atlanta? I think he was in Atlanta. That what is his name? You know who I'm talking about. Help me come up with his name.
Oh, Bishop Murphy.
Bishop Murphy. God knows we love Bishop Murphy. Okay,
Yes, we do.
I shook his hand and hugged him myself. I went to see Kevin Lemons in Atlanta, and I met him there. What is your take on the church? You know, surfing and swagging and surf swagging? Is it swagging and surfing? I don't know, but they were surfing and swagging.
Yeah, they was doing that thing.
They was doing that thing, okay?
Well, let's be specific then.
They was, listen, what is your view? Since you are just like, I feel like you are the right one to comment on this and tell us, what was that?
So I tell you what, you know, and like I said on the pew, I would not have done that. And I wouldn't have done it because I never want my good to be evil spoken of. And I think perception, unfortunately, is reality.
It is.
And we don't ever want to be perceived in a way that's contrary to the way that in which we are trying to be, you know, seen as, if you will,
Or effective.
or to be effective.
Absolutely.
And I think that when we do more harm than good, then we need to rethink our strategy.
My
So
God.
I would not have done it that way, or I would not have played that type of music in the sanctuary. I don't think it's appropriate. But that's me, and I try not to judge other people and say,
Absolutely.
So what was the
condemn 'em.
message in the song?
listen,
Listen,
Again,
didn't-
I don't know.
First of all, I don't like a lot of rap, so I don't know.
I don't know either.
I should, if I had another phone, I'd pull it up right now.
Was it
actually,
any disrespect?
Oh yeah,
I
it
think
was some
so.
language for sure.
I think it was language. I think it was. Yeah, so you wouldn't have done it that way.
No,
So the way you described Joe Osteen and his congregation, right? And they first name basis, right?
Yeah.
But I still respect you, right?
yeah.
Absolutely.
So can we do this for the same in that situation?
It's per person because everybody's not on the same level.
That's right.
I mean, they gave the free will for people to be able to do that, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? So if they gave you the permission and the free will, made you feel comfortable, that's going above and beyond the call of duty when it comes to opening your little circle up. You know,
Yeah.
because, you know, most pastors and preachers don't call me. What did you say? What did you call me? You mean pastors so-and-so or elder so-and-so. Put a handle on that name. But I didn't even notice that. I didn't notice that, brother. You
Joyce
all right.
Meyer,
Is she
Let me tell
another
you-
one?
So let me tell you.
Paula White.
Let me tell you why I said this to you about the title thing. I had a friend. I've been trying to do this spiritual journey, but I wanted somebody who got the knowledge, right? And wait, I just lost it.
You've been trying to do the spiritual journey, but you wanted somebody who had the knowledge.
The person with the knowledge, but we was talking.
Come on, guy. Bring it back to his
Right.
remembrance. Come on,
I felt like it was gonna be real good too.
Be real good. I'm telling you.
It'll come back.
It'll come back to you, bro. It'll come back
Yeah.
to you.
Oh, my
But go
God.
ahead and finish saying what you were saying, Pastor Todd.
Yeah, I think that it's important because, you know, I know some of the challenges that I've had with some of
Oh, go ahead.
some of the challenges that I've had with you know, some of the parishioners. It's just that sometimes, you know, they want to be friends and I can't be their friend.
Absolutely.
You know, and so that's where
Absolutely.
the boundaries have to lie. Only because it's kind of like a parent. I'm your shepherd.
Absolutely.
So you know, I'm.
Well, hold on now. Why is that important?
Why is what important?
Why is it because you the shepherd is important that they need to, if they don't automatically know their place, then so you could question the authenticity of how they truly feel about you. Because if you're the leader anyway, and I know you are, I'm going to respect you as. So I don't need to watch myself. You know what I'm saying?
So let me explain something to you, Pastor Ryan. So Big Rob is my big baby, okay? And Big Rob is on this journey to find and examine all and test all that we put out there on the table, because he's been church hurt, and then there's some things that he understands and some things that he doesn't. So when he's asking you a question, he really does want to know what you mean by that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's nothing's too big and nothing's too small here at this table. We want to make sure that everybody understands everything. So, Mr. Rob, I want you to re-ask that question again, because I'm interested now. I want to know, what did you mean?
Okay.
Ask that question again. Can you remember the question?
No. What was the question?
It was something about if
Lord have mercy.
if you reverence that person as a leader.
You was like, why do I have to be careful?
Oh, yeah, right. So why do I have to be careful if I automatically know the position? You know, I don't have to put up a facade. You know, I don't have to. To me, it's not natural. I have to honor you for what. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean it in a facetious
Oh,
way.
no.
But what I'm saying it like we supposed to be good. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it.
Now, what you mean by that? Because we got the right one here, baby.
Because when I say we're supposed to be looking good, that, you know, I know the position in the church, and I know where it starts at, and I know from when I step up in there, that's how it's going to be taken care of.
Right.
I don't, but you know, I've been in the church where, you know, and even though I love them very much, but they call him Divine King. And
Oh, no.
Come up to the mic.
I'm not doing that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But I respect him just like you look at him. But I respect him. He's a very powerful man of God.
Well, I think discernment has a lot. I'm going to let him speak, but I'm going to say my little at first. I think discernment has a lot to do with anytime you go to anybody's church and you observe the way they doing in Rome. If they ain't doing it in Rome like you would normally do it at home, then go home. Okay, don't do it in Rome because they doing it in Rome.
Right.
I'm gonna need you to go home.
But what's wrong with something new?
Well, first of all, you know that. Well, I don't know what you know, because, you know, I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, but all I know is, you know, we're not supposed to be worshiping a man.
That's right.
Okay, and it's idol God.
Exactly.
And if you go somewhere and you see people doing that,
Right.
exit the building, stage left.
Yes.
That's all I'm
Quickly.
saying. Just exit, because it ain't right.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Some things you don't need the answers to. You got common sense. You know what is right and what ain't right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So listen, what is your answer to it? And then we're gonna move on to this next song.
I love that. I think it's so important that in this season that you date churches. You know, if you are not if you're in the market for a new church home, you got to get out there and you got to date these churches, and you got to find the right fit.
Right.
Because every church is not going to be for you. Every pastor is not going to be for you, but there is one that's for you. You know, and because, you know, calling them king and all that.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
that's
Your
not biblical.
Highness
No,
and
there's only one king who's
you
the
got
king of
money.
kings.
You got some money on the tithing table, and
So,
it's in oil.
So I want to play devil advocate on that now.
Okay.
Come on, now, here we go.
I'm all right with the fact. I believe exactly what you're saying, because I would never do that. But I loved him just like they loved him. That's how they did it. But I loved him. Reverend Boyd was my guy. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I didn't have to.
You didn't have that. You wasn't finna. You felt like they wanted you to bow down.
No. What I felt is that I've always believed that I'm just as great as the president of the United States.
Okay.
So why would I put someone above me? You know, that's how I look at it.
Okay. Now I'm gonna let you explain this one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, take this one.
So I think you're looking at it like, you know, by respecting them and reverencing them, you are esteeming them higher than you, or they're better than you.
Absolutely.
But that's not literally what it is. You know, them being the shepherd over you, that means that they are your leader. So just like on your job, you have a shift leader. They don't rule over you as in they're your Lord, but they have authority in order to tell you what to do and what not to do on that job.
Come on.
And so when somebody is shepherding over your soul, they have the authority to help you and guide you.
This
so
is good.
they're like a parent. And so when you think about it, it's just like, if you were brought up in a household like me, we didn't disrespect our parents and still don't. So this, no matter how old you get, you're not gonna talk sideways to mama, and you're not gonna talk sideways to daddy. And if you got that big of a tool, then you're gonna go ahead and have it outside they door and come back when you're ready.
Absolutely.
So it's the same thing with your leader. They're your spiritual parents. And I'm not giving you a whole lot of Hebrew and Greek, because sometimes when we do that, it's like, whew. So I'm keeping it real practical. They're like your spiritual parents. And so you think of them just like that. Just like with your natural parents, I tell people all the time, I know my parents didn't get it all right. And guess what? They don't owe me an explanation, because they did the best they could with what they knew.
My God, I just said that to someone else. I was having that conversation. She was talking about parents and how the past and how they were done. And I said, baby, don't you realize that was the best she could do?
Yeah,
exactly.
Them mothers from my mother's age, they did the best that they could do.
And what their parents did and what
they
they
parents
knew.
did to them is all that they knew.
Exactly.
So I get, but it's about forgiveness.
Oh, yeah.
My God. It is about forgiveness. Yeah. And it's about knowing that, you know what, if you have a child, you want to do better for your child. It's about getting the focus, because you know what? The devil plays a lot of tricky games on you and try to get you to focus on this and try to get you focused on that in the church, so he can keep you outside of the church. And sure, you can serve God at home, but the Bible said it's good to assemble yourselves together. For what?
Not. Yeah.
Forsake not. But why should we do that? Why is it good that we assemble ourselves together?
Oh my gosh, it's so important that we assemble. We just talked about forsake not the assembly. And the enemy wants to get you apart because it's power in numbers.
Absolutely.
The scripture says, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I'm in the midst.
Absolutely.
And so he wants us to come together, but the enemy wants to seclude you, because when he can seclude you, then he can talk to you.
Absolutely.
He can speak to your mind.
Absolutely.
But see, iron sharpeneth iron. So when you get together with your brother and your sister, and that's why you got to watch who you hang out with. That's why you got to watch your environment. The scripture says, come from among them. Sometimes we have to come from among people who are going to be party crashers. What are party crashers? Those who want to join your biddy party with you. You know, you got a issue, and instead of them speaking the word to you, instead of them encouraging you to do the right thing, they right there with you. Man, I know that don't make no sense. And it goes right back to the man and woman of God. They may not be perfect, but you better make sure that you keep your mouth off of them, because they're still God's elite. What does that mean? They're still called to do an assignment on this earth. The scripture says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. What does that mean? That means keep your mouth off of them. Don't come against their assignment. They're not perfect. They make mistakes. You pray for them. It's just like I tell wives all the time, the husband is the head of the house. Your job isn't to try to get him straight and get him in order and buck up against your husband. You be a praying woman, because you can't never get him like God can. When you get on your knees and pray, trust me, God will intervene. But when you get on the phone with your girlfriends and gossip and they go on telling your business to everybody, that just stirs up more mess. So you got to know who the right source is. You got to connect to the true vine.
I love this.
You gotta. A lot of times we plugging up to everything else, and we wonder why ain't nothing happening, because you ain't got no juice over there. You got to plug up to where the source is, and that's Jesus.
Oh my God! You done came to do what God needed you to do already. I tell you, this is beautiful. Prince Ron Todd. I see why they was calling you Prince.
Oh my
Ron
gosh.
Todd. And it's not like you were kind of like what you were talking about. It's not about the worshiping.
I don't think they were worshiping.
Yeah.
I think they just gave him a title. You know what I'm saying?
Now that's good. Now that's what you think?
Yes.
So I'm going to need you to carry that in your heart about everything. It's the same thing. Same thing applies in the church, okay?
And we got to remember, I don't like and I don't mean to.
No, go ahead.
I don't like the phrase church hurt. You're not church hurt.
Ooh.
Somebody hurt you.
But see,
in the church.
But this the thing. I told the boss lady, listen, the church didn't hurt me.
Yeah.
I was already hurt before I got to church. The church just added to it because I went there to get saved. And I don't mean saved in the way the
I
Bible
know exactly
about,
what
but
you
just I wanted my mind to be free from where I was going through.
Absolutely.
And that was basically it. It just added more to it. And that's how I end up in the streets. I end up in the streets because the family wasn't working, and then the church wasn't working. But what it was, and what they didn't try to do with me, is teach me.
Yeah.
When you ain't been taught nothing, when you don't know nothing,
Come on, Rob.
how can you be anything
Come on
Yeah.
through.
besides what you see?
Come on through.
You
Yeah.
know, and that's where I was at.
Yeah, it takes patience to be a
And
shepherd.
that's why I was just as hungry as I was to get knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I try to get this guy to be my spiritual knowledge, and you know, he was into this, you know,
Weird stuff.
yeah,
We're just gonna
come
leave it at
see,
that.
come saw, you know,
Mm-hmm,
and he wasn't seeing that I was, dude, I'm fighting for my life, my mental life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was like he was playing with it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And then I finally got to the grip and said, no, I have to remove myself from this category.
Yeah.
Mhm,
You know?
absolutely.
Now I've always had other spiritual folk, but he was the closest to me because he was here in the city.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of spiritual people that's outside the city, but he was right here, and so I try to make that work because I really wanted to spiritually grow.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just
Don't give up though.
Don't
Yeah, oh,
no.
no.
You know
I ain't
what? We
giving up.
all are going to be right here for Brother Rob. I want you guys to exchange numbers
Yeah.
after the show because I want him to be able to have. Now you know my dad talks to him and is going to be talking to him, but you know my daddy is holiness of hell. All right, it's
And that's
up
good.
or it's down. Okay, and there's no in between. Okay,
That's good.
This good, but sometimes you need someone a little bit that will pull back and really have walk with you.
have a little diversity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm like I said, I'm very
Yes.
transparent. I'm very down to earth. I kick it. I talk. I'm realistic with life and what's going on. And then I do what I call practical application. You know, I don't want to stay above your head, but I have a degree in theology. So it's no need of me taking you to a place that is you're not going to
Come
understand.
on.
Let's talk layman terms
Please.
and let's get through it.
Please,
and then I
ma'am.
can take you to the scripture and explain, you know,
That's it.
why we're doing it this way. But first, let's talk it through. And another thing is, sometimes as leaders, we got to understand when some things are above our grade. And what I mean by that is sometimes we need psychological help. God uses people, and there are people who have studied the psyche. They have studied mental health. And they can help you in a way that your pastor can't. I can give you spiritual guidance, but sometimes there is a mental breakdown there that needs to be assessed and addressed by a trained professional.
This is good.
And that doesn't make me less of a man of God, because I can help you spiritually and I can pray for you. But guess what? That psychologist, that counselor, that life coach, which I do happen to be a certified life coach, they can help you. Cheap plug. Call me. No. They can help you in a way that the man and woman of God may not be able to. But a lot of times, especially folks who came up old school, oh no, you
Yeah.
don't need to go there. It was like taboo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, Brother Rob. I had to break my dad. Listen. You know how my daddy is. You done ran up into him a couple of times, and for a while, years ago, they didn't. I don't think that they believed. A lot of the people around me believed in therapy, psychiatrists, psychologists. I don't think that they believed in bipolar levels, uneven levels in your brain, serotonin. I think that's it. Or is that? I might have said the wrong word, but it's an uneven level in your brain of something with the S. Okay, and it gets off whack. And that's when you go through the bipolar stages. There are schizophrenia, the schizophrenics.
Oh yeah.
I really believe that there are sicknesses, and there are a lot of preachers that believe that sicknesses are not real sicknesses. It's spirits, and you don't need to get therapy. All you need to do is dip in the Word of God and come get dipped in the water baptismal on a Sunday, and you good. Just have faith. But I beg to differ.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
No, I absolutely agree. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, there is a deliverance process, and I believe in that wholeheartedly. I do believe that God can deliver you out of addictions
Absolutely.
and all kinds of things.
Absolutely,
He's
he
well
can.
able. But mental health is so important, especially in this season that we're in. And sometimes we have to, defer to trained professionals to help you through some of those issues.
Absolutely. And then sometimes you could be walking out around and be burned out and don't even realize it yourself that you're burned out. Like when you came in here, Brother Rob, and you said, I feel like I need to sleep forever. Then you change, you said not forever, just about 20 hours. You know what I'm saying? So that said to me that you need some rest.
Yeah.
And you need some peace. And I know, I see you, your mind just be click clacking, antennas be up. I get it. But I love you so much, and we're going to stay on this journey together, and we're going to rock it till the wheels fall off.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and we're going to get you some understanding, and I'm going to get deeper in the understanding. And I have an amazing co-host that I'm going to talk about after a while. Her name is Cree, and she is coming to the Masheba Webb show this Friday. I am so excited to have her. Now, listen, I want to tell you, if I can remember it, I want to tell you Friday's topic, and then we're going to get into your next song. If I can remember it, it is the molestation of men and women and the secrets they keep, 2024, the year of closing the door.
Ooh.
Baby.
My God.
Baby. Baby. I just take a pause. Just hold on. Just give a word.
It's heavy.
Just a moment of silence. Because it's going to be deep on Friday.
I will be tuned in.
Listen. I have a young man that is calling in, and he told me.
So this is going to be live?
This is live. You got to come on back in on 6 o'clock on Friday. Okay. I got my dad coming, Pastor Leroy Robbins. He is coming. Holiness of Hell. Okay. But you need those preachers as well.
Yes.
You need those. Okay. They going to put the urgency in the urgency.
That's
okay.
right.
And you need people to put the urgency in the urgency
But
sometimes.
everybody plays a part.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Rob.
Everybody
That's what I'm
plays a
talking
part.
about.
There's
You better
nobody.
grow.
I don't have no problems with nobody and what they do and how they
Absolutely.
believe. I just believe what I believe, and I just want to be respected, just like I respect everybody else. I'm
Yeah.
not finna fight you for what you believe in.
See, and that's why, like, I was finna fight Rob. I had the gloves on. It was finna be, we was finna duke it out. But I had to understand that everybody don't believe the same thing.
That's right.
All right.
And I had to give him his way. You understand what I'm saying? I give him his space, and then we give him understanding, and we give him patience, and we bring people in, and he asks his questions. Any question he want to ask, I let him ask that question.
And that's
because
good.
it's important. It's important.
And I'm going to tell you, I don't know everything. And so sometimes I still call my bishop, or
Yeah.
I phone a friend.
Absolutely.
You know, I go back to the word. I pull out my thesaurus, whatever I need to do to get you the answer. There are many times people ask me questions, and I say, you know what? Let me get back to you on that. Because, see, we don't want to just say anything.
Absolutely.
You know, that's like I tell folks who, you know, there are different levels of prophecy. Everybody want to be a prophet. No, you're not no prophet. Just because God gave you a prophetic word or used you prophetically, or you may have dream, now all of a sudden you think you're a prophet. No. And see, you messing around with you and these little words, and you misdiagnosing people's lives. Go sit down. And that's a word for somebody today, because you might feel like God uses you prophetically and he's giving you prophetic words. Do not operate in an unauthorized manner. Go get you some training. Go get cultivated. Let somebody pour into you, because that is no joke, and that's a realm that you don't want to play in.
Absolutely, my God. Today, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm
and
so
you're going
glad
to be a
to be here.
recurring guest, because I ain't got enough of you. And we got a long way to go, honey. We got a long way to go. So let me ask you about your family before we get into the next song. My praise is my weapon.
Yeah.
My God, that's enough right there. If we ended the show right after we played the song, that song is enough, I'm trying to tell you. Now, let's talk about your beautiful wife. Congratulations
Yes.
on the marriage, on the
Thank
nuptials.
you.
What is her name?
Her name is Mary.
Mary.
Yes, Mary
All right,
Todd.
Mary Todd. All right.
Yes.
Mary and Ron Todd. That flows.
It's so funny because
Mary, huh?
my grandmother was Mary. She just passed a couple months ago.
Wow.
My aunt is Mary,
See?
and my wife is Mary.
See, now I married my husband, and his mom is Ann, and I'm Ann too. So, you know, when it's in the stars, it is in the stars.
That's right.
Now, listen, let's talk about this song, My Praise is My Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Who wrote it? Who is the band? And who is the background singers?
So I wrote this song as well, and it was produced by Emmanuel Johnson.
Okay.
And I honestly don't know who sang in the background.
Did you do your own vocals, though?
I didn't. I did. I may have done some tenor.
You
I
did
think
something on there. I heard you.
But I know Emmanuel did some backgrounds as well. His wife Erica Johnson did some backgrounds, but I don't know who filled in all the other parts. You know, Emmanuel is so amazing when it comes to production.
What's his name?
Emmanuel Johnson.
I don't know
the second.
him.
Yep.
I don't know him.
And so I just kind of told him what I wanted and came in and did what I had to do, and he had to. It was history.
Well,
Yep.
listen. Go ahead and introduce your song right now for the Masheba Webb Show.
Yes, this is my song. It's called My Praise Is My Weapon. It is actually on the soundtrack to the new movie that I'm in called Crush. So y'all check it out right now on the Masheba Webb Show.
When we get back, here we go.
Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down. 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 I will lift my hands. I will do my dance. I will leap for joy. My praise is my weapon. Oh Lord, yeah. Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down. Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down. Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down. Oh, Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down. I will lift my hands. I will do my dance. Oh, I will leap for joy. My praise. My praise, yes it is. Oh Lord, every time I lift my hands, every time I do my dance, my praise will bring me out. My praise gives me the victory. My praise activates my faith. When I lift my hands, God sees me. When I open my mouth, God runs to me. 'Cause my praise, my praise,
Don't say nothing. My God, that was Prince Ron Todd with My Praise Is My Weapon. Listen, you are listening to the Masheba Webb Show, and I am Masheba Webb. My Praise Is My Weapon. What year did that come out? That was about 2-3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. No, a little longer than that, because Safety, which is another single I released almost 3 years ago, came out first. So it's been about 4 years.
It's been 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how long it's been since I really saw you. Because when I came to the church the first time, that's the first time I actually saw you. Because I don't know if you remember sending for me. Miss Paula said, "You better come see him."
Yeah.
Because you had found out that she was on the show, so you didn't know that we were kind of hooked up.
Yeah.
But that's the time. So it was about 4 years ago That is an amazing song. So listen, we have been on the air for 49 minutes, y'all.
Oh my gosh.
49 minutes, and we haven't even talked about your movie or your plays. Now let's talk about this movie, because can I go watch this now?
Yeah, well, you know what? It will be on Tubi early next month.
Okay. Keep us informed.
And there is another private screening on the 2nd. Actually,
Of February.
Of February.
You got
yes.
the tickets, or you got the info so we can get tickets? Because I would love to come. Are you going to be there?
I'm going to be out of town. So
I'm not going if you're not going to be there.
But if anybody who's watching wants to go, just email me, PastorRonTodd@gmail.com. I'll send you the info.
I will send a donation, but I want to come and chill with your family and,
Yes,
and
please.
do all of that. So we got to talk about now. What is the movie about, real quick?
So everybody's had a crush, but it's not good when you crushing on somebody else's husband.
Oh, not at all.
So I'm kind of giving you the plot. There's some twists that happen, but it's about a young lady who ends up falling for another gentleman from her church, and all of the things that she goes through to try to sabotage his marriage to his wife.
Wow.
She befriends the wife.
So what part you play?
I play the choir director. And so you will see me in the church, and you'll see me singing "My Praise Is My Weapon," and you'll see me introducing the pastor.
Ryan ain't gonna play no bad parts. I'm gonna tell you that now.
I don't know. I got some projects coming up. You'll be surprised.
Because you don't know a lot behind the scenes of what I do, but I'm into movies and I'm into music videos and church broadcasts, podcasts, TV shows. And I'm looking for actors, and I definitely would love to snag you if you want to. Because what we're doing is we're doing movies, which we've got the first part of the actual screen movie that we're going to take it to the movie theater. Okay. But now we're doing skits that have messages.
Nice, I love that.
So, you okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Skits that have messages. We just did one for New Year's Eve, and it was called Happy Hour, and it was about drunk driving. Wow. So we all know that drunk driving is one of the highest days, New Year's Eve, for drunk driving all year round. So we did that for that day, and it was really good. So we're going to be doing a lot of things, and I'm going to call you if you want. Okay,
please.
I'm calling.
You know something about that? I thought it's a beautiful job that Detroit does when it comes to those like St. Patty Day and New Year's Eve. They pay for a lot of free people. You can pay. You can go home and you have to pay.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can call $1 ride for free. Okay, $1 ride for free. I tell you, I thank you so much, Mr. Ron, for coming and being on the Masheba Webb show. Now, listen, I didn't get the clip of the play in there for some reason. It said that it wasn't formatted right, so I couldn't get it in there. But when you come back the next time, we'll definitely have that in there. So, but let's talk about the plays because you just had Steffi B in one. Yeah. You know, you had my other guy Carl B. Phillips in one, and you know Masheba Webb ain't been in none of them yet.
Oh my gosh, we got to make that happen.
We got to make that happen. You know I'm ready, right?
Absolutely. It's so fun. And I just got through casting another show that's so crazy.
Did you?
I got you though. Don't you worry.
Don't forget about little old me.
No, I got you. Yes. I've been doing plays for a very long time. And so I started acting in grade school. And I did the arts all through school. I only played sports 1 year, freshman year in high school. And after that, I was strictly arts. I was in the band. I was in the choir. I had 3 choir classes by my senior year. So I knew I had A's in that. But anyway.
Did you have home ec?
I didn't have home ec.
Okay.
I didn't take home ec.
You was a chef, honey. Do you cook for your wife like you cook before you married?
I cook at least 2-3 times a week. Yep.
Come on, let's give him a hand on that because oh my God.
So let me ask you a question about you being you said you're a coach, right?
A life coach,
yes. A life coach, right? So that means that you know there are certain diseases, mental diseases that's out here. What is the biggest thing? What is the biggest sickness mentally right now that life coaches is dealing with?
Well, I'll tell you, as a life coach, we don't diagnose. So we don't diagnose you with a sickness and we don't prescribe anything. What we do is basically we encourage, but the way we do that is by conversation and asking questions. So
Absolutely.
like counselors and psychologists, they diagnose and they also give you a resolution, whereas we come to a resolution, and how we do that is by asking the right questions. So if you were to give me a problem, I will start to ask you questions to help you solve it. And so a lot of times people realize that they already know the answer. They just need a mediator to help them kind of remind them of what they already know.
So I want to ask you this, and let the boss lady take this back over, but I need to ask you this question here. What have you heard as a life coach about narcissism?
I have heard that it's very common. I have seen some narcissists that understood and have already been diagnosed with that disorder. And I see that more people are dealing with it than they know. I tell you that.
Oh my gosh. Ooh,
Because
Lord.
a narcissist mainly is a person who that deals with like a reprobate spirit. They can see they're all about themselves and what it benefits them, and so they forget about everybody else and wanting to help and benefit other people. It's just all about them, and we have a lot of people that are like that. And so same thing with that type of characteristic is, okay, so how would you feel if, or how would it make you feel if, so you ask those questions to kind of help them see the error of their ways.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is beautiful. Mr. Rob, do you have anything else you want to ask? Because we finna get up out of here.
Oh, I'm good. I enjoy it.
Well, listen, Prince Brian Todd, what's next for you? Because, I mean, you got a table spreaded, honey. What is next?
Oh my gosh, it's a lot going on. Obviously, again, you're always welcome to come to the church. I tell people all the time, they're like, I want to hear you sing. Well, come on Sunday. You hear me sing every week.
Period.
Also, of course, I have a brand new play. I'm bringing it back to Detroit. I've done it a couple times outside of the state here in Newport News, Virginia is the last place I did a new suit for Easter, which is going to take place March 16th and 17th at the church, 2261 Marquette Street in Detroit. Tickets are $30. They go on sale the second week in February. Please get ready for that. It's going to be absolutely extraordinary. Of course, the new single, I Can Get a Prayer Through, we'll be working that for a while. I'm super excited. I am nominated for 6 Rhythm of Gospel Awards. Ooh. And so we're excited about seeing what God does in June when we go down to Alabama for that. And so, yeah, of course, the podcast is still going on. Got some other projects that are in the burner, some movies and some sitcoms, all kinds of stuff that I can't talk about just yet, but y'all just wait and see. God is so good.
This is amazing. I am so honored to have you here. Like I said, this is not going to be the last time. You're going to be a recurring guest, honey, because you bring healing in the room, honey.
Oh, glory.
You bring healing in the room. We thank you so much for coming. I am your host, Masheba Webb. You're watching Soul TV, Roku TV. And till next Saturday, 2 p.m., we love you. Okay, now let's talk about your dad. Let's talk about the day that your dad passed away.
Back on Thursday. He said, yeah, I'll see you, boo.
Oh, this is the one you have been waiting for. Part 3 of This Is My Story, This Is My Song, with the man, the myth, the legend, none other than Dr. Eloquent Weaver himself. Right here on Soul TV.
Sometimes people don't understand why I don't come around for Thanksgiving or anything. When you're used to your Thanksgiving table full of your family and it's just, man. And I didn't have a dime. Whoa, man, this it's hard.
LaQuint was a gift to our family.
All I got is one brother that I know.
LaQuint was a spoiled young boy. And so I had to snatch him and check him a lot of times. He didn't like it, but now as he had grown older, he can accept and appreciate what his big brother did to him.
That's my brother. I love that boy. I love that man so much.
I'm the only one that he has left that can look back and say God truly have blessed you.
Been a brother too. You didn't leave me. You stayed right there by my side. And when my troubles come, Lord, you dry the tears from my eyes. The Masheba Webb Show. Masheba Webb Show.
Everybody out here, come and sing with me.
Masheba Webb Show. Masheba Webb Show.
The Masheba Webb Show.